Om Sri Sairam. Offering my loving pranams at Bhagwan's lotus feet, a loving Sairam to all of you. Praying to Swami that he guides my every word and the flow of thoughts, I offer the Satsang at his lotus feet. There are certain things you're taught as children in your childhood that stick with you all through your life. And many of us who are fortunate to study in Swami's school, the Sri Sathya Sai primary school here, there are many memories, many sweet memories, but one of the memories which comes to my mind all the time is a unique one. We were taught shlokas from the Bhagawad Gita. So as children, we were told to learn these shlokas, and oftentimes Swami would stand on the veranda. Now that scene is very, very vivid in my mind. Swami would stand on the veranda, all the primary school children on one side and all the higher secondary school and the college students on one side. And Swami would stand and say, start chanting the Gita shlokas. So all the primary school children would chant, and Swami would look at the higher secondary school students and say, see, learn from them. So of course, when we went on to the higher secondary school, we could chant it as well. Now, what are these set of shlokas that Swami laid so much emphasis on? Swami had instructed that the students should learn shlokas from 2 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita. The first is, you should learn shlokas from the chapter 2 of the Bhagavad Gita, which is also called a Sankhya Yoga. And the second is Bhakti Yoga, which is chapter 12. Not all the shlokas in chapter 2. Swami said from the 54th shloka of chapter 2 onwards, and all the shlokas in the chapter 12, that is Bhakti Yoga. So, what is so unique about these shlokas? So, as you grow up and as you start reading the meaning of the shlokas and as you start analyzing, you start realizing that there is a similarity between what is spoken of in these shlokas of chapter 2 and in that chapter 12. Now, the shlokas 54 of chapter 2 goes like this. Sthita prajnasya ka bhasha. Arjuna is asking Krishna this question, O Krishna, what are the characteristics of a sthita prajna? Now, sthita prajna is a person who is equanimous. Sthita prajna is one who is equanimous in joy and sorrow, in all the opposites. And so Arjuna is asking him, how does he live? Where does he live? How does he walk? What are his characteristics? And Krishna goes on to explain what are the characteristics of a sthita prajna. And if you look at chapter 12, which is called Bhakti Yoga, Lord Krishna brings out who are my devotees and who is dear to me. So he says, a person with this quality, yomad bhakta same priyaha. Such people are dear to me. Now there is a hidden similarity between the shlokas in chapter 2 and the shlokas in chapter 12. And it would be a very big discussion if we were to go into all the similarities, etc. So what I thought is, in this satsang, I will present to you and we can discuss one shloka from chapter 12. Now there are 2 ways of looking at this shloka. The shloka that we would like to take up is Adveshta Sarvabhootanam Maitraha Karuna Evacha Nirmamo Nirahankaraha Sama Dukkha Sukha Kshami. So this is the shloka. And here, actually it goes on, it continues. This is the 13th shloka of chapter 12. And it continues into the second shloka. Santushta Satatam Yogi Yatatman Dridhanishtayaha Mayyar Pitamano Buddhi Yomad Bhakta Same Priyaha. Now, Yomad Bhakta Same Priya is a refrain that comes in many of the shlokas in chapter 12. That means, such a person is dear to me. Yomad Bhakta Same Priya. That devotee with these qualities is dear to me. So let us, we will not be taking up both the shlokas. Let us just take up the first shloka, that is Adveshta Sarvabhootanam. Now, 2 approaches to understanding this shloka. One is, if you see the qualities that are brought out in this, you can say that a devotee has to develop these qualities in order to get close to the Lord, in order to be dear to the Lord. The other approach is, when a person is nearing Godhood, or a perfected person, a sage, or a great bhakta, these qualities will be a natural reflection. It will be a part of his nature. So the devotee has to just be, and people can recognize these qualities in his life. Now, we have the greatest good fortune of having lived with Swami, of having heard Swami, and of having seen how he has led his life here on earth. And what greater example than to take Swami's life itself? So when Swami says, "My life is my message," everything that Swami taught, every aspect that he wanted his devotees to learn and to imbibe, he exemplified those qualities in his own life. And so I thought we will use a different approach to understand the Shloka, wherein we will take these words from the Shloka and try to correlate them with incidents from Swami's life. And we will try to see how Swami exemplified these very qualities. So the first quality is Adveshta Sarvabhootanam. It is Sarvabhootanam. That means to all beings. Do not have hatred, Adveshta. Do not have hatred towards any being, towards all beings. So he is not saying do not have hatred only to human beings. It is to all beings, all living forms. And of course, there are very detailed explanations of what is Adveshta, why you should not have hatred towards anybody. One can analyze how it is possible to be loving to all. When Swami says love all, serve all, is it possible? Is it practical? And Swami also says in one of his letters in the Premadhara, he says, where there is love, there is no hatred. So it is almost as if this word hatred is opposite to love. So Adveshta Sarvabhootanam. Now there is another meaning of Dvesha. Swami would say Raga and Dvesha. So attachment and detachment. Now, as you all know, in Sanskrit, each word can have several meanings. And we are not going to get into all those details here. But as I mentioned before, we'll try to take certain examples from Swami's life. And we'll try to see how he exemplified these qualities. So the first one, Adveshta Sarvabhootanam. I am reminded of a beautiful incident which happened in Kodaikanal in the year 1999. Now, this was the first morning we were with Swami in the first floor of the mandir. And since the mandir would have been kept locked for a long time and they had just opened and kept everything ready for Swami's visit. And this was the first day. As we were seated outside, early morning, Swami just came out from the door. And we all were obviously looking at Swami. And suddenly Swami pointed something on the wall. And so all of us turned back and we saw that there was a cockroach going there. And Swami said, see, that's a cockroach. And so all of us were looking at the cockroach. And then Swami said, poor thing, let it go. You know what these people did? In my room, the moment I entered, I saw all these white lines everywhere. And so I asked them, what are these white lines? And they said, Swami, it is Lakshman Rekha. So Lakshman Rekha is a poison which is used to kill these cockroaches, lizards, and to drive them away. And so in order to, keep Swami's room safe, these people had drawn these Lakshman Rekha lines in his room. And Swami said, poor thing, they're not harming in any way. Why should you kill them? I don't like to see them struggling. I don't like to see them suffering. And so Sarvabhootanam, there is no hatred that, this is an insect or this is going to cause harm. Nothing. So he has no hatred towards any being. He has no hatred towards any living form because he sees himself in everybody. This was a beautiful incident where Swami exemplified this quality of Adveshta Sarvabhootanam. Then the next quality is Maitraha. Adveshta Sarvabhootanam Maitraha Karunevacha. Now Maitraha is a very, very interesting and a very, very misunderstood concept in today's day and age. Maitraha, friendship. Now friendship is something which is very, very important in the spiritual journey. Many of us who have heard Swami's discourses, oftentimes Swami would chant the Navavida Bhakti Marga, say Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dhasyam, Sakyam, Atmani Vedanam. So the last but one, the penultimate stage is Sakyam. Now Sakyam is friendship. So here Swami's Lord Krishna is saying, Adveshta Sarvabhootanam Maitraha. So Maitraha is that friendliness. So friendliness towards all beings and friendliness towards God. Swami would often say that God is your only true friend. All other friends are like frogs. When there is water in the pond, all of the lake, all of them will come close to you. The moment water dries up, all the frogs will run away. And Swami alone is our true friend. So Maitraha. So have that close friendship with the Lord. But when the Lord himself sees himself in everybody around, he has that friendliness and that friendship with everybody, because he sees only himself in everybody. There's a beautiful incident that one of the students narrated. So I believe the student had put on a little bit of weight, and so he became a little bit conscious, and Swami would always say you should not put on a lot of weight. So he thought, let me reduce my diet and let me stop eating 3 times a day and eating too much. So automatically my weight will reduce. And so he started doing that silently without telling anybody. And then a thought came to him. Swami says that a good friend will be able to easily observe what the friend is going through. So he thought, if I truly have a friend, if there is somebody who is my true friend, he should be able to find out that I'm losing weight. So this was a couple of days after he started this practice. And he thought, anybody who comes and asks me, hey, how come you're losing weight? That person is my true friend. So he was thinking of this, and he tried looking around, and people were talking to him normally, and he was moving around, in a friendly manner with everybody, but nobody noticed this. And this became a little bit of a concern for him, because he thought, oh my God, I don't have any true friends. I don't know why that thought came into my mind, but I don't have any true friends here. So as he was doing this, one of those days when they had gone for darshan in Vrindavan, I believe Swami just called him to go and get some sweet box or something from the mandir. And the moment he got up and walked towards Swami, Swami said, what, you're not eating well? So the cat was out of the bag, and Swami, the first person to ask him was Swami. Swami said, you're not eating well? So then he realized that in every way, Swami alone is our true friend. Like the friends around us may notice, they will never know the innermost thoughts. They will never know what we are going through. Only Swami can know everything. In fact, there's another beautiful incident. This is from the life of Satyanarayan Garu. So he was Swami's classmate from childhood, and he was from Puttaparthi. And Swami showered a lot of love, as a true friend would, in all the stages of life. And Swami would often call them and speak to them and visit them in Puttaparthi, visit the school. And he continued to keep that relationship with his childhood friend till the very end. And once when his friend Satyanarayan Garu had a problem for which Swami had given clear instructions that he should be admitted in the hospital, Swami Super Specialty Hospital, and he was well taken care of, and he was out of danger, and he was recovering. And so his family members and his grandson, they were taking him on the wheelchair. And as they were crossing the Yajur Mandir that side, his grandson thought probably we should tell Swami that his grandfather has been discharged and he's on his road to recovery. So he just took the wheelchair near the Yajur Mandir, and when Swami used to live in the Yajur Mandir, there was a system by which you could send word that Swami so-and-so has come with a special prayer, with a request, with a letter, or to offer a prayer to Swami, and permission will be sought from Swami. If Swami says yes, then that letter will be taken. Now, so the moment he sent word, the brother inside who was on duty, he came out, he said, what should I say, Swami? And he said, see, Swami had blessed that he should be treated well in the hospital, and by Swami's grace, he is on the road to recovery. Please tell Swami that we are here to offer our gratitude. Now, the moment the brother went inside and told this to Swami, immediately Swami came out. And that was the evening time when Swami generally doesn't come out. Swami came all the way to where he was, and he was on a wheelchair, and Swami looked at him, and Swami asked him, so how are you now? And he obviously had tears in his eyes, and he said, Swami, you have taken care of everything. Now I'm much, much better. I'm on the road to recovery. And he said, Swami, I thought you would have forgotten about me. And then Swami makes this beautiful statement, which is in a way the hallmark and the perfect quality of friendship, the perfect quality of what a friend would be. So Swami says, how can I forget you? How can I forget you? If I forget you, it is like forgetting myself. So obviously he was, all the more touched. But this sentence is the true hallmark of a good friend. So he says he sees himself in his friend. He sees himself in everybody around. And he says, if I forget you, it's like forgetting myself. So Adveshta Sarvabhootanam Maitraha Karuna evacha. Karuna is compassion. Now compassion is such a beautiful and is such a divine quality. And Swami always mentions compassion as one of the foremost divine qualities. We all have seen so many incidents of Swami's compassion, Karuna. And everything that he did was out of his compassion. In fact, when one of the students in a talk in Kodaikanal, they said, Swami, we are here because of the merits of ours and our forefathers. Swami said, no. All that merit is over in one single darshan of mine. Everything that you get after that is due to my compassion. So the very fact that we are able to see him and live in his presence, that itself is his karuna. But then there are certain incidents that just again stick in your mind and they never leave you. So again, this is going back to Kodaikanal in the year 1999. The reason I'm mentioning this is because we were there, we were sitting and seeing this happening, and it was so beautiful. So what Swami was doing is one afternoon, Swami was sitting, and 3 covers were brought to him. And he said, open the first one. Like it was like the most important activity about to happen. And Swami was like fully prepared for it, and everybody was wondering what it is. And as they opened, it was 3 different colors of saris. So these 3 saris were brought to Swami, and all the 3 saris looked beautiful. And they were very grand, and they had that golden border, is called jari, in the bottom. And all of them were silk saris, and looked very pretty expensive and very nice. And then Swami started. Swami would say, when amongst men, I'm a man. When amongst women, I'm a woman. And nobody can be more fussy than Swami when it comes to selection of saris. So we saw it on that day, because there were 3 saris, and Swami took the first one. Swami said, yes, the effort is good. You have got the right kind of saris. But the color of the sari is not good. The border is good, but the color is not good. Then Swami said, for that person's skin complexion, this color will not suit. Then so that nice sari was disqualified. Now the second sari, Swami said, color is good. Everything is good, but the border is too thin. It is not looking grand enough. And then for the third one, he said, border is good, color is good, but something else is not good. So, all the 3 saris were disqualified. And he told the gentleman, Swami said, I need some more variety. You need to get me some more variety. Now, as this was going on, obviously everybody was thinking that this is for some VVIP, somebody very important. Swami is going to give them the sari. And one of the professors couldn't contain himself. So he asked Swami, who is this VVIP you are selecting these saris for? So much of effort and so much of due diligence, you're going into every single detail and trying to pick out the best sari. Who is it for, if I may ask? And then Swami said, what do you think? That lady who is sitting right behind the kitchen and cleaning all our vessels every day. This is the sari I'm selecting for her. And all of us were absolutely moved. And Swami said, See, she does her work silently. So I want to give her something very special. And then the professor said, Swami, but she would have never worn such a grand sari in her life. And Swami said, that's all the more reason I should give such a grand sari to her. He said, she will have so many festivals and functions in her home. And every time she puts on this sari, she'll be so happy that Swami has given this to her. So that is why Swami is spending so much time in selecting the right sari for giving it to her. If this is not compassion, if this is not such a beautiful, quality of compassion, where, yes, you are giving something to somebody who is in need of something, but that is not the spirit with which Swami is giving. Compassion is what he would have given to himself, what he would have given to his own people. So when it comes to that compassion, again, this beautiful quality of, treating everybody alike, that also comes in. So, Adveshta Sarvabhootanam Maitraha Karuna Evacha Nirmamo. This is the next quality. And this is a very interesting quality, Nirmamo. Nirmamo is, do not have that mamatvam, that this is mine, this is mine, this is mine. Do not have that mamatvam with everything. Another incident which, brings out, this is not an incident, but just an observation made by many people who have had the chance of being in close quarters with Swami. For people who have come to Swami in the 50s and 60s and even much later, you know that Swami used to be residing in the mandir itself, right above where the interview room is. And many of the people, devotees who have had the chance of getting a personal interview with Swami, you know that there is the personal interview room, and then there's a smaller room which is the personal interview room. And on the side there is a passage that leads to the kitchen and dining table. Now that passage is full of material. All the time there is stuff there. There are sweets, there are clothes, there are safaris, there are saris. And every time it's be it is Thursday or Sunday, Swami say, children will come. So let us keep these apples ready. Let us keep this. Now, when I was thinking about this aspect of Nirmamo, he never had anything for himself. Even that small room, and for few people who had this opportunity to actually go up to the first floor where Swami's bedroom was, it was a small, probably an 8.5 to 10 feet by 10 feet room. And imagine putting a bed inside that room. Swami would literally have to walk along the walls. When he would do it. Every day he would take a walk for exercise because he cannot come out. And inside the room, he would walk around his bed. So that room itself was so small. And the room which was outside, which was slightly bigger like a veranda, half the time it is full of stuff. It was full of either safaris or saris or apples or fruits or special diaries which he would want to give to the primary school children. I remember some beautiful magnetic diaries that he would send, and so many things kept. So Nirmamo, he didn't even have a room in which he was, which he could stay comfortably. Even that he used it for others' sake. This is one aspect of Nirmamo, and the other aspect which comes to mind is post Mahasamadhi, when there was this discussion and there was this press conference, one of the trustees brought out this point very beautifully. He said, what are you talking about, Swami? Can we even dare to speak about his sacrifice? Can we even dare to speak about him? Because look at him. He has led his entire life without even having a bank account to his name. So, everybody, the first thing we would want is to have a bank account at least. And here is Swami who, Nirmamo, he had no account on his name at all. Whatever came is part of the trust. And his own room is for his devotees. So, this is something which is so amazing. Talking about this trip 1999 in Kodaikanal, the first day that we were there early in the morning, as he came out from the door, he just parted the curtain a little bit, and from there he was seeing the gate of Sai Shruti, and he said, see, people are already gathered. People are already waiting for darshan. His time is not his. Nothing is his. It's always for his devotees, for his students. All the time he's concerned about his devotees. All the time he's concerned about his students. Isn't this so exemplary? And this is how he exemplified this quality of Nirmamo. Nirahankaraha. I mean, he is the Lord of the universe. He has all the power in his hands. But the way he moved around, even a primary school kid could relate to him. So when he would come down to our level and he would ask, what is the breakfast you had? And what was the Swami idli? So, I mean, anybody who is asking a question for the sake of asking would say, okay, you had idli for breakfast. But that is not what Swami is asking for. So he would say, how many idlis? Then they will say, Swami, 3 idlis, 4 idlis. And in later years, probably more number of idlis. But then Swami said, what is the size of the idli? So how many idlis? What is the size of the idli? So all these details Swami would ask, because he would come down to the level of the children. Nirahankaraha. There is no pride. There is absolutely, means pride comes when you feel that you are better than others. Pride comes, for Swami, it is like he sees himself in everybody. So there is absolutely no pride. I mean, he's controlling the entire universe. If he wants to be egoistic, who can stand up to that? I mean, but Nirahankara, there is absolutely no ahankara, no ego. And another beautiful incident which comes to mind this happened in Vrindavan. This was narrated by one of the senior brothers. And so he was narrating that in Vrindavan, there was a VVIP about to come, probably Prime Minister or President was supposed to come there. And the person was about to reach the mandir in about half an hour's time. And Swami was just going around in the ground floor and checking if everything is arranged and everything was ready for the minister to come. And then he walked into the one of the rooms and he said, this dining table is right in the center here and it is occupying a lot of space. Can we not push it to a side? We can just push it to a side little bit so that there is more walking space for the people when they come. And when the minister comes, there will be his whole security protocol and other things. So the student who was there with Swami at that time, he said, yes, Swami, we can move it to the side. And then he was just waiting for Swami to go out from the room so that he would quickly run and bring in a couple of boys and with their help move the table. Then Swami looked at him and said, what are you waiting for? He said, Swami, I'll just call somebody. Swami said, why? You are here, I am here. Let us move the table. So both of them held the table and then they moved it to a side. Absolutely, there is no sense of ego at all. He is in the moment all the time. He is one with the situation. He just goes with what is required for every particular situation. I mean, just think of Swami in the summer course standing on the platform and talking about Atma, I am that, and talking about the greatest philosophies and the Upanishads. And then the moment he would come down from there, he would ask, so did you all get mangoes? Show me your mangoes and go for lunch. So, there's is this the same Bhagavan who stood on the platform? He just mixes with all of us. There is no sense of ego, and that is something which is very, very important. And this is you see this, the way Swami exemplified this in so many situations. I believe there was the incident of a documentary crew who came to make a documentary on Swami's 50th birthday. That's in the year 1975. And so they have been given a room in South Prasanthi, and so they are just arranging their equipment, and they have never seen that kind of a crowd. So many people going around, and accommodation was a problem, food was a problem, but people are so happy. They have just put up tents everywhere and they're staying under the trees. And so these people are completely bowled over and fascinated, and they were a set of Westerners. So they were getting ready with their equipment, and suddenly Swami walks into the room. And Swami says, oh, what all equipment you brought and how you're setting it up. And he sits on a table that was there and is looking and speaking to them. And they didn't even realize what was going on. After Swami left and went, they said, oh my God, here is the person on whom we are going to make the documentary. We are like the technical crew. We are like the people who have come. And he's so free, so open. There's no sense of ego. There's no separation with anybody. In fact, Swami would oftentimes teach us this lesson. Every time he traveled anywhere, he would first ask, have the drivers been given food? Have the police people been given food? Have all the support staff been rewarded? So he would always keep that in mind. There is no sense of ego, there is no sense of saying that you are doing this for me and I am important, etc. So this is something which is very, very important. So Adveshta, Sarvabhootanam, Maitra Karuna Evacha, Nirmamo Nirahankaraha, Sama Dukkha Sukha Kshami. Now, Sama Dukkha Sukha is exactly what a Sthita Prajna is. A Sthita Prajna is one who is equanimous in happiness and sorrow. Sama Dukkha Sukha. Now, for all of us, one of the most sad times of our lives, it is inevitable, but what we really feel sad about is when one of our parents pass away. So it is inevitable in everybody's life, but how you react to such a situation. Now, Swami's physical mother and father, they also passed away, and it is a very sad moment. But Swami was completely equanimous, and in fact, this is something which many of the devotees may not realize, because this was there in one of the early Sanatan Sarthis. The article that I want to actually read out about is a letter which Swami wrote on that occasion. So, Swami's father passed away on 4th of November 1963. And in the November issue of the Sanatan Sarthi, Swami actually wrote a letter. And I would actually read out this letter because this is so beautiful. And even at that point where it is very sad, the whole village was sad and everybody is sad, but Swami is completely, equanimous. He's absolutely equanimous. There is no change in his attitude and in his activities as well. So the letter is titled like this: To all who sent letters of condolence. Swami says, Prema Swaruplara, when the limited self, the father of this manifestation, threw off his disguise, thousands are writing to me expressing sympathy and sadness and praying for peace for his soul. This is perhaps the way of the world, but to me it appears quite strange. When the sum of years one has earned is spent, all have to give up the body and quit. This is an inescapable fact. He too followed that law. Why become sad just for this? It is against nature to become sad when the expected happens. What is originated has to degenerate. You are born to die. You die to be born again. This is a meaningless statement. You are born so that you may avoid further birth. You die in order to overcome death. How significant these lines are. He says, you are born so that you may avoid further birth. You die in order to overcome death. This important fact has to be borne in mind by all. As apparel is to the body, so the body is to the embodied self. All sadness is the result of ignorance of this truth. I have never the least connection with untruth. The physical relationship is untrue and ephemeral. Only the Atmic relationship is true, permanent and pure. That is the one relationship that exists between me and you all. That can never be modified. That can never be given up. Thousands liberate themselves from the physical limitation. You see all this and you hear of more, but yet you express sadness and send condolences without understanding the truth. That is what disturbs me. Nothing else can disturb me. No, nothing. So he says, the only thing that disturbs me is the fact that you're sending condolences. You're not understanding the truth between life and death. Next, you pray that his soul may have peace. This is stranger still. When the basic character of the soul is peace, how can it be gained? How can it be given? The Swarupa is Atma, the Swabhava is peace. The two are inseparable. Well, you say that he was a blessed soul since he passed away in the fullness of years without falling helplessly ill and in the full possession of memory and consciousness. But these are mere signs and pointers. He was a blessed soul, not just on the occasion of this one day, the day he became the father of this manifestation, the day this manifestation became his son, that very day he became blessed. His life was rendered holy and sanctified. Remember this, fortune comes only to some one individual in an entire age. It is beyond the reach of all. It is the good name one has earned that will survive forever, whoever he may be and however long he may live. the rest evaporates into thin air. Therefore, so long as life lasts, do good deeds, cultivate good qualities, be good with people, and develop good conduct, and finally give up the breath in the thought of God. That gives meaning to life. So give up worrying about the limitation that is cast away. Learn to dwell on Umapati when the disguise is discarded. Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Now, this is the letter that Swami gave it to Mr. Kasturi sir, who was the editor of Sanatan Sati, and said, publish this in Sanatan Sati. Let everybody know how Swami is reacting to this particular event of the demise of his father. So, through this particular incident, Swami shows us Sama Dukkha Sukha. So, always the person, the Sthita Prajna or a devotee, has to reach a state where they're equanimous. Nothing can really shake you. Nothing can really affect you strongly. And the last quality is Kshami, forgiveness. So this is also a beautiful quality, and you see so many incidents from Swami's life. In fact, the very fact that we all are able to go near him and sit near him is because he has chosen to forgive all our faults. If he were to actually point out each one's faults, I don't know how many of us would have had the courage to go and sit near Swami. So he's always forgiving, Kshami. And a beautiful incident again which comes to mind is a very simple incident. Swami was moving away from a particular place. I don't know the exact details, probably Kodaikanal or somewhere in Chennai. And after a gap of about, so Swami's car has moved out of the crowd. And after about 10 minutes, Swami tells the driver to just stop the car once. And he's wondering what happened. And then Swami just opens the door and he notices that his little toe is stuck in between the door. And the driver was so shocked and he said, Swami, it must have been very painful. Swami said, yes. And then, Swami, we could have stopped it right there. And Swami said, see, poor thing, the Sevadal who closed the door, he did not notice. And if I had stopped there and immediately opened the door and removed my leg, the poor chap, people would have, not treated him well. And they would have blamed him and he would have felt very upset. So in order that he should not be treated badly, in order that he should not feel sad, Swami bore with the pain and forgave him the mistake of having smashed the car door onto his toe. So these are the qualities which Lord Krishna says a devotee should have. And of course, the list goes on, but I just thought we'll take this one particular shloka and try to bring out how Swami himself in his lifetime exemplified each of these qualities and how he taught us that this is what you should have to get close to Swami. I would like to conclude this satsang, but before I do that, I'll be failing in my duty if I don't draw attention to a beautiful analogy that Swami gives about this particular concept in the Gita Vahini. So he says that it's like plowing a field. So how do you go about actually plowing a field? The first thing you do is to remove all the weeds. And you have to remove the weeds, and then you'll have to actually plow the field. Then you'll have to put the sapling, and then you'll have to protect the sapling. You have to continue watering and putting manure, and then only then you can say that the crops of Ananda will grow. So he says, removing the weeds is like removing dvesha, hatred, pride, ego, jealousy, all the negative qualities. Removing these weeds from the field is like removing these negative qualities. And then you have to plow it with shraddha, with sincerity and with discipline. You'll have to plow it. Then after that, you'll have to put the saplings of good deeds. Good deeds are the saplings. And then he says, nirmama and nirahankara. These are two things which are similar to pouring water and adding manure to the soil. So nirmama is not having this feeling of not mine, not having that attachment, nirmama. Nirahankara, as we just discussed, is without that ego, sense of ego. So this is like watering and manuring the field. And there's an interesting observation here. Watering and manuring is not a one-time job. This is something that goes on every day. So also, in our minds, nirmamo nirahankara. These are very, very subtle. Swami says, ahankara is subtler than the mind. That is, ego is subtler than the mind. So, if we have to remove nirmamo and nirahankara, we have to constantly be vigilant about this. And then only then, he says, the saplings and the plant of Ananda will come. So this is a beautiful analogy in the 22nd chapter of Gita Vaini, and all of you should read that, and that will give a beautiful context to this entire shloka. And before I conclude, again, this morning there was a beautiful Sai Inspires which came, that is the 25th of October, a beautiful Sai Inspires which I'm not reading out the entire Sai Inspires message, but one portion of it where he says, once a student approached a guru and asked for the path of Shanti. The guru replied that he must develop sahana or tolerance towards all men, all things and all events. Then Swami says something very beautiful. He said, nothing should arouse an interested reaction, disgust or desire. The highest alone must be sought. God alone must be desired. Prema, steady, unchanging, undiminishable, can only be love towards the Lord of all the worlds. Changing love is love towards the changing world. So ultimately, it is love. And once you have complete love, these qualities that we have spoken about automatically manifest in you, and you embody these qualities. The path is the goal, and the goal is the path. So, if you want to reach the goal of becoming close to the Lord, you can start with developing these qualities. So, it works both the ways. And the pure definition of who a devotee is and how to become dear to the Lord is very beautifully elucidated in the 12th chapter, the Bhakti Yoga of the Bhagavad Gita. And Krishna brought out these highest truths in these 700 shlokas. And Swami has elaborated these shlokas. Swami has spoken so much about these shlokas and these concepts in all the discourses that he has given. We are so fortunate that we have audio recordings, we have videos of some of the discourses, and we have the script of many of the discourses given by Swami. Again, probably I'll conclude with one interesting thought. There was a professor who had access to a video camera, since this is from the media center, and we are seeing a video recording of this Satsang. So there was this professor who had a video camera way back in the year 1984, when Swami was about to start a series of discourses on the Bhagawad Gita. And so he asked Swami his permission, because Swami was going to give this series inside the bhajan hall. And Swami said, put the camera down. Don't focus on the camera. Imprint these messages in your heart. So, fortunately, we have the audio recordings of the series of discourses which Swami gave in the year 1984 on the Bhagavad Gita. We don't have the video recordings of them. But the point I'm trying to make is, when Lord Krishna gave the Gita, it is only the shlokas that we have today. But Swami has explained and expanded on this message so much. We have audio recordings, text recordings, and videos of many of these. And we are so much more blessed than Arjuna. And that means that we should have keen interest. We should have keen interest in reading through and listening to these discourses and sanctifying our own lives. And that is the best offering we can give to the Lord. Thank you so much for your patient listening. Sai Ram.